Today I'm reviewing the Klipsch Reference Cinema Dolby Atmos 5.1.4 system. If you want to check current pricing or availability, it's linked below. I've lived with this setup in a real home theater environment for several weeks: movies, streaming shows, games, and a mix of music. I'm talking about actual performance in everyday use, not just what the spec sheet says. Let's set expectations early. This is not a compact all-in-one soundbar you tuck under your TV. This is a full surround speaker system that requires space, placement thought, and some setup. If you want simple plug-and-play background audio, this isn't it. What this system is built for is immersive home theater sound where directionality and depth matter. Right away, you notice how sound fills the room. With 5.1.4 channels and Dolby Atmos support, effects extend not just around you but above you. In scenes with overhead motion, raindrops, helicopters, environmental ambience, there's a clear sense of space rather than everything anchored at ear level. That spatial dimension is tangible in real movies and games. Front imaging feels precise. Dialogue remains anchored to the screen throughout a wide range of listening levels. During action scenes, sound effects are noticeably separated from dialogue, so explosions and ambient cues don't mask voices. That clarity contributes to a more comfortable listening experience rather than a congested one. The subwoofer delivers impactful low end without overemphasis. Bass in explosions and musical scores has weight, and it doesn't sound muddy or bloated when it matters least. It extends deep enough to feel cinematic, and in my room that added realism without overshadowing midrange balance. It isn't silent. Deep bass is meant to be felt, but it doesn't dominate the soundscape. High channels are where Atmos becomes noticeable. In films with overhead cues, you get a sense of events above and around you. It's not a gimmick or artificial trick. In practice it broadens the soundstage and makes environments feel more three-dimensional. Now, real-world balance matters. Music listening feels open and detailed, though dedicated stereo systems can sometimes feel more refined for purely musical focus. This system excels with movies and mixed media playback more than it does as a near-field listening rig you'd use right next to your desk. Room placement and calibration affect behavior. Because this is a multi-speaker system spread across space, small changes in speaker positions can influence imaging and balance. That takes a bit of patience compared with a single soundbar, but the payoff in immersion with proper placement is noticeable. Comparing to simpler soundbars, this setup delivers a broader and more detailed surround environment. It won't be as simple to set up, and it requires more space and wiring, but the dimensionality and presence are real rather than simulated. Comparing to full custom ADRs with reference speakers, this sits in a practical zone where you get wide, enveloping sound without needing separate amplification and calibration gear. You trade some modular flexibility for an integrated ecosystem that's easier to manage for everyday use. Now, limitations matter too. It isn't a silent installation. Speakers and subwoofer produce real acoustic power. At very high levels you can hear typical driver strain in dense passages, though that's common in almost any home system at loud volumes. So who makes the most sense for this? It's a good fit for someone who wants immersive home theater sound with real height cues, enjoys movies, games, and mixed media in larger living spaces, prefers a balanced, room-filling setup over compact audio sticks, doesn't mind placement and calibration for better imaging, values clarity and separation in dialogue and effects. Here's the rational evaluation. The Klipsch Reference Cinema Dolby Atmos 5.1.4 system delivers a genuinely dimensional audio experience that goes beyond basic surround or soundbar setups. It isn't a minimalist plug-and-play box, but in a proper room with proper placement it rewards you with clarity, presence, and immersive spatial cues that matter in cinematic playback. Check current pricing below and evaluate it against your needs.